So all of you know about the importance of scientific grants. They help fuel your research. But one very interesting aspect of a scientific grant is that it usually gets published much earlier than a publication. Most of the government grants do get published much earlier. So sometimes it takes you years to get grant funding, but even longer to get published. So all of you are using PubMed to find who is working on what and who did what in the past. But sometimes it's difficult to understand who just recently got on the field and who gets the money. So we developed a tool called the Aging Portfolio. It's essentially one of the largest databases in the world for scientific grants. We take data from multiple sources, mostly government, across the world, put it all in one database, and apply various algorithms to analyze that data. We create a specific directory, a taxonomy of aging research, and classify projects into natural sciences and social and behavioral sciences. And there are actually more than 300 different categories that we classify projects to. Some of those projects are being classified manually, and for that we actually would like to seek your help. If you have a postdoc in a lab that is just starting to get into a specific field, we can give him administrative privileges with this system. He would be able to classify, create a new category for his research, classify several projects into his category, and then we apply algorithms with elements of machine learning to look at the whole spectrum of projects and publications to see what is similar to that training set that he created. And we would be able to basically show who is working on that, who was working on that, and how much money did they get. So one of the most useful tools in the system is a search interface, where you would be able to just enter some keywords and get the trends, get the information on the grants containing that set of keywords. And you can have a very large number of limits that you can use. We also created multiple various resources to help you analyze the grant data and structure it. So one of the resources is the Grant Matchmaker, which right now is in a beta stage. You would be able to submit a very short abstract for what you're doing, or a set of keywords, and the system will show you some potential grant sources. Who is who by money, by specific categories. And now we started tracking some biotechnology events and conferences, and even some of the codifying some knowledge existing in the videocast and podcast form. When you search for a project or a set of projects, you get an abstract, title, PI name, and then you get the details on the funding. I'm not going to get into that right now. Sub-project history and publications resulting from that specific research project. You can also analyze trends by keywords, so you give it a specific set of keywords, and you can see funding by years. You can construct Venn diagrams, see distribution by states, by countries. We also created a tool called the fundingtrends.org. It's also free. That is mostly useful for policymakers or people who try to understand trends in aging research or in any kind of research. You just give it a set of keywords, and it draws the relative trends on the screen for the area you are looking for. And you can actually go down to much lower granularity. You can put proteins in there. So if you have a protein of interest, you may want to see how much money has been spent on that. And of course, we do provide charts and graphs and other ways to analyze the data. So we also developed a site called aging.cc. That's a Google-like search interface for scientific grants. So if you're interested in finding out who is working in a specific area, you can use just a very simple Google-like interface. We groomed data from a variety of sources. Some of them are already in a database. Some of them are being integrated. So it's the NIH, which is the largest funding source, and the European Commission, which is the largest source in Europe. We're trying to get access currently to the Chinese data, If we get that, that's going to be great because they just committed $308 billion over the next 5 years to biomedical research. What we tried to do, we tried to take the best practices from the NIH report database, which contains just the NIH report data, but of course apply it to many other funding sources. We have a local copy of Medline, which is used by PubMed, and we are trying to create project publication links using our own algorithms instead of just when the scientist quotes a grant in the publication. So we're trying to do some data mining. And what you can do there, you can search for projects using various search criteria. You can browse project by categories, created both using manual entries, using category editors, and using machine-learned algorithms that groom projects by their relationship to aging research. And we're trying to increase the accuracy of those algorithms constantly. The larger the training sets we get, the better the classification accuracy. This is one of the project flows for classifications. So we get a database of projects. We break them down into title, abstract, existing classification from the funding source, and other information, other semantics like PI, institution, etc. We developed a version of the support vector machines algorithms that use training sets to classify projects, and the Boolean factor algorithm to do title classification. And then those projects get classified into multiple categories automatically. So then you would be able to perform sort of an unbiased analysis for the trends and for where the public money are being spent on scientific research and specifically to aging. So I would like to thank our collaborators. More than 60 volunteers from all over the world contributed to development of this system. I would like to thank Charles Cantor, who is our major collaborator, who also contributed to the algorithm design and introductions to major funding sources so they give us the data. And of course, most of the development has been done in Russia, so that's why you have this stamp. In the case that you would like to collaborate, because US dollar is a very good common denominator for analyzing science, we can open up those databases for you if you would like to perform any kind of econometric analysis or try to correlate funding to frailty indexes, disability indexes, etc. So thank you very much.